time for a great new American enterprise. I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. No single space project in this period will be more impressive to mankind or more important for the long-range exploration of space. The great British explorer George Mallory, who was to die on Mount Everest, was asked why did he want to climb it. He said, because it is there. Well, space is there, and we're going to climb it. And therefore, as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked.
God of all space, who has set the stars in their courses and who dost also dwell in the human heart, God of the light years, infinite beyond infinity, we give thee thanks, O God, for the rights with which thou hast endowed us, for the love of truth and the dreams of adventure which propel pioneers out into space. Make our country a worthy leader of the free world. Amen.
Everybody, it's a beautiful morning for a trip to the moon. Thousands of spectators are converging on Cape Kennedy today to watch the launch of Apollo 11. The blastoff will be televised worldwide by satellite.
Never before had so many people been eyewitness to history. Not the windless morning Columbus sailed with the riches of Isabella. Not on the foggy dawn Lindbergh throttled up to face the Atlantic. Not the frigid night Admiral Byrd pressed into the Arctic. But on this warm, humid day in Florida, millions of people would watch the final step of mankind's greatest adventure.
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Roger, 11, we'll pass that on, and it certainly looks like you're well on your way now.
And so, 3 young Americans have set forth on a human adventure of mythological proportions, with London and the rest of the civilized world invited to watch on television, for better or worse.
Le lancement de l'astronef Apollo 11 a réussi et les astronautes américains sont partis vers la Lune.
本日早くアメリカ宇宙飛行士ネイル・アームストロング、バス・オーズリン、マイク・コリングス。
Dr. Abernathy, what was in your mind just as you saw the rocket lift off?
There was a great deal of joy and pride for that particular moment and second. I really forgot the fact that we have so many hungry people in the United States of America.
Apollo 11, this is Houston. You are confirmed to go for orbit. Those are kind words, Robert. We're go for orbit here.
Status check in Mission Control. Coming up all greens on the flight director's console.
We confirm ignition, and the thrust is go.
Ignition.
800 million people in 59 different nations heard or watched the astronauts by radio or television. At a moment's notice, earthly pursuits were set aside to view daily progress reports from Apollo 11's 4-day journey to the moon.
We are very comfortable up here, though. We do have a happy home. There's plenty of room for the three of us, and I think we're all learning to find our favorite little corner to sit in.
And Apollo 11 continues on schedule. Tomorrow, Armstrong and Aldrin will board the Eagle landing craft and wait for lunar landing clearance from Flight Director Gene Kranz.
Okay, all flight controllers, go for landing. Retro, go. Righto, go. Guidance, go. Control, go. Telcom, go. GNC, go. Right, copy. Surgeon, go. Capcom, we're go for landing.
We're go. Same tide. We're go.
Good radar data. Altitude now 33,500 feet. We didn't know why it had happened, but we knew we had a downrange error in our trajectory. We had moved further along the ground track for some reason, but it would require the crew to manually take over and land that spacecraft. They couldn't go down to the point where we had planned. They'd have to actually work their way through a boulder field.
Eagle Houston, request manual start override.
After 4 days as a passenger, Neil Armstrong was now called on to do the one thing he knew he was truly best at. He was flying.
10 and 50 feet down at 4. 30, 3.5 down. Altitude, velocity, light, 3.5 down. 220 feet. Forward. 100 feet, 3.5 down. 9 forward. Okay, 75 feet. Car's looking good. Down a half. Down 2.5. Forward. 4 forward. 4 forward. Drifting to the right a little. 40 feet down 2.5. 30 feet, 2.5 down. Picking up some dust. Straight shadow. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. Listen, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
I had to speak and couldn't, and finally I took and hit my hand in the console, and it hurt so much that I finally just broke out of it, and I think all the other controllers went through their communications climax at that point. And then the sound from around us, from our training instructors and the people in the viewing room, you heard them clapping and applauding and cheering, and it sort of dawned on you that, my God, we had actually landed.
Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot. Okay, Houston, I'm on the porch. Roger, Neil. We can see you coming down the ladder now. Yeah, I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man. One giant leap for mankind. Upon the moon. Feel that this stands as a symbol of the insatiable curiosity of all mankind to explore the unknown. Neil and Buzz, the President of the United States would like to say a few words to you. Over.
Hello, Neil and Buzz. For one priceless moment in the whole history of man, all the people on this earth are truly one. One in their pride in what you have done, and one in our prayers that you will return safely to Earth.
I do remember the scene very vividly, but I certainly recall looking at the Earth, and one can't help but being impressed by its small dimensions in that situation.